Hello and welcome back to my channel, Sunshine Lorena. So, you can see these are really heavy. You can see I've got a stack of books here. There's only 5, but they're chunky, they're intimidating, and yeah, they scare me. So these are 5 books. I'm going to speak about 5 books that are my TBR that intimidate me for various different reasons. The size of them does play into it, but that isn't the main reason why they intimidate me. So I'm going to go through each of them and just, yeah, I will get to them eventually. I just need to get over that fear, you know? The fear, and, you know, maybe I'll actually love these books. We'll need to wait and see. So yes, just before I get into it, if you like my channel, you want to support me, hit that subscribe button, leave a comment, let me know what your most intimidating books are, and yeah, let's just let's get into it. The first one is a booktube favourite. It's one that always comes up. People are always doing reading vlogs on it, and that is A Little Life. So yeah, you've probably seen like a ton of booktubers like doing a reading vlog for this and just like crying their eyes out, like full on like tears streaming. So yeah, it's a sad book. It's a very sad book, but no one really talks about exactly what it is. I know there's a lot of trigger warnings on this, and it's a book that you really need to go into it when you're in the right frame of mind. So yes, it is a little bit chunky. I think it's around 700 pages. Yeah, it's like 719 pages. So it's not the biggest book. So yeah, and this kind of, what intimidates me is the fact that I could pick this up at the wrong time. Because I know I need to be in the right frame of mind, because, you know, people cry. It's sad. It's a sad book. I don't know specifically what things make it sad. And like I said, there is a ton of trigger warnings, so like I need to make sure I go into this with my eyes open, and yeah, at the right moment in time. I mean, I bought this back quite a few years ago, like probably around 2016 or so. It's been sat on my TBR, but I just saw it that it was shortlisted for the Man Booker Prize, and yeah, it was just about like these group of friends who like had finished university, were like living in New York, and I didn't know how sad this was. It's only when I got into booktube a little bit later that I started to see, and I was like, oh, I'm glad I didn't just pick that up and read it, and that I'm able to go into that in the right frame of mind. So I will read this one day. I might do a vlog on it, but that day is not today. I will be picking this up the right time. So the next one is chunky as well. As we established this, they're all chunky, and that's It by Stephen King. I'm not the biggest fan of this cover, but you know, again, it's over like 1,000 pages. So yeah, it is a big one. So that intimidates me a little bit. I mean, I did read The Stand a few months ago, which is his biggest book, and it is the biggest book I've ever read. But that was part of Horror in 24. They divided up to sections and by days, etc. So I feel like I had a goal each day of what to read. There was a Discord chat to talk to people about what we just read, and yeah, I feel like that helped me like keep on track. But if I read this on my own, like, you know, it's gonna take me a while, I think. I can do it, but so the size is one thing that intimidates me. The second thing is I hear such mixed things about this. There's people who absolutely love it, and then there's people who don't. And like, there's Stephen King fans, you know, so it's a book that some people like and some don't, and it's one of those things that it's a chunky book, and if I'm one of those people that don't like it, I feel like I would have wasted so much time reading this. So yeah, that's kind of what intimidates me, is yeah, the size, but also if I pick up this chunky book and I'm one of those who don't like it, then yeah, I've wasted a lot of time, like a lot of time. But yeah, if you've read this, let me know what your opinions are. I will pick it up, maybe October, because, you know, spooky season. Let's see. Next up is Don Quixote by Cervantes. Yes, I know there's the sticker, but like I need to try and remove it properly because it's going to peel the cover, so that's why it hasn't been removed. That's not what intimidates me about this one. This one is a little bit of a chunky book again. So it's about 800 pages, but it's small writing, whereas, you know, it is over 1,000 pages, but it's much bigger writing. But yeah, it's quite small writing. And what kind of intimidates with the learn to speak? What intimidates me about this one is that yes, it's small writing, it's a little bit chunky, but it's a classic. So yeah, it's a classic. It's one of the oldest classics. It's written in like the 1600s. I want to say this is written around about the 1600s. It was written in like 2 parts, so it would be the oldest book that I would have picked up. And yeah, that's kind of intimidating because, you know, language has changed a lot over time. And it's one of those things that I'm like, is this going to be an accessible classic for me? Am I going to struggle to get through it? Yeah, and it sounds a little bit more like an adventure kind of book, which isn't the ones that I go for either, but it's a classic that I want to pick up. It's one I want to read. So yeah, that's kind of what intimidates me, is that the fact it's a classic, it's chunky, it's written so long ago. What if, you know, I'm going to struggle through this? But what if I struggle? I might struggle. I'm going to have to definitely use an audiobook for this, but it's kind of intimidating. It's like, again, it's going to be one of those books that takes up a lot of time. And yeah, what if I don't like it? And again, I've wasted time. But yes, it's one of the ones of the classics that I want to read this year. So by the end of December, I should have picked this up, and we will know if I was right to be intimidated or not on this one. Next one I have is Karena. Again, another classic, another well-known classic, but this is a Russian classic, and I have never read a Russian classic, and that's kind of what intimidates me, because I know that it's a different style from other classics that I've picked up. I've picked up a lot of I suppose classics from the English-speaking world. So yeah, that's kind of another part that plays into the Don Quixote one, because it's from Spain. But yes, I know Russian classics are chunky. They tend to have a lot of characters, and yeah, that's kind of what intimidates me. I don't know if this is one of the ones that does have a ton of characters. I know War and Peace does, but yeah, that intimidates me. Again, a bit chunky, around 800 pages. So yeah, that's the intimidating thing, is it a classic from a completely different country, one that has a lot of classics that actually have been translated for the English speaking world, which means I know it's supposed to be good. It's just, yeah, it's intimidating if it's one of those ones that have like a ton of characters, because I don't know if it does. It's kind of scary. Yeah, I've never read a Russian classic, and it does scare me. It really, really does scare me, guys. Again, this is on my 10 classics I want to read in 2021. Again, I know the sticker. So it is one that I'm supposed to get to by the end of December. I don't know why I put these like 2 chunky classics on there. I mean, I still need to get through Little Women. I need to get through Emma. Oh, what else was on that list? I need to get through Emma and Mrs. Dalloway, which I heard it's not too long, but it's not exact. I've not heard that it's the easiest to read either. I don't know why I chose it. Like A Christmas Carol. Yeah, I've got a few to get through, and I don't know why I decided to put 2 really big chunky ones that are intimidating, but I did do that. I did. And the last and final book that I have on here, not a classic, guys, not a classic, but again, chunky. It is one that I have previously started before, and that's Shantaram by Gregory David Robert. Yeah, guys, there's another sticker on here. I know I need to remove it. So this one, it doesn't look super chunky. It looks kind of similar size to other ones, but it is about 950 pages. The writing is on the smaller side, so it is chunky. Like I said, I started this before, like quite a few years ago, but I was in this really, really bad reading slump. I mean, this reading slump lasted quite a few years. Like, it was a really bad slump. And I picked it up during that period of time because obviously picking up a really chunky book when you're in a reading slump is a really good idea. Really, I recommend. Yeah. So the fact that this is still my TBR, you know that I obviously didn't finish it. I didn't get that far into it. It's not the book's fault. It was just a really bad period of time for me in my reading. And yeah, that's kind of, I think that's what intimidates me, is the fact that I started it and I didn't get that far. But I need to remember was that I was in a bad reading period, and it's not the book's fault. It's not the book's fault, it's me. It's one I want to get to. It's one of these kind of travel books that people seem to read. I have seen some people speak about it, but it's not like the other ones on this list. You hear people speak about them all the time, but not so much this one. So it's in the early, I'm going to go through a synopsis. In the early 1980s, Gregory David Roberts, an armed robber and heroin addict, escaped from an Australian prison to India, where he lived in a Bombay slum. There he established a free health clinic and also joined the mafia, working as a money launderer, forger and street soldier. He found time to learn Hindi and Marathi, I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, fall in love and spend time being worked over in an Indian jail. Then, in case anyone thought he was slacking, he acted in Bollywood and fought with the Mujahideen in Afghanistan. Amazingly, Roberts wrote Shantaram 3 times after prison guards thrashed the first 2 versions. It's a profound tribute to his willpower, at once a high-kicking, eye-gouging adventure, a love saga, and savage yet tenderly lyrical fusion. That's not the synopsis, guys. That's from the Time Out. Sorry, I just see a paragraph in the back of the book and assume that's what that is. So yeah, so he wrote it 3 times. I didn't know this. He's written it. The first 2 were trashed by prison guards. I didn't know that at all. That's really interesting. Okay, there's nothing else for me to tell you. That's what it says in the back, so I'm not entirely sure if that's like the full synopsis, because like I said, it says Time Out. A novel high venture, great storytelling and moral purpose based on an extraordinary true story of 8 years in Bombay underworld. So it's based on his life, like a part of his life. Yeah, wrote it 3 times. Amazing willpower, that is, amazing willpower. That kind of makes it a little bit more intimidating, is that he obviously really went through a lot to get this book written and actually out there, so that's extra intimidating. So yeah, that just increased that level. So yes, it's one that I want to try and get the audiobook for as well, to help me get through it. But yeah, it sounds super interesting. That's the thing, it sounds really super interesting, and yeah, I just need to get over that fear and pick it up. I just picked up at the wrong time. I need to remember that. And yeah, that's it. That's my last intimidating book. I mean, there's some on my Kindle, but I don't physically have them, and it's quite easy to kind of put them to the back of my mind. Like June, I'm just saying, like June, because that's a bit intimidating because I don't like sci-fi. But yes, that's it. These are my physical, intimidating TBR books. Yes, so let me know if you have read any of these, how you liked it. And yeah, let me know if what your intimidating TBR books are, because I know we all have them. And yeah, that's it. Thank you very much for watching this video. Comment, like, subscribe, and I'll hopefully see you in the next one. Bye!